Hi, I'm Nick Thaman. This is my audition to be a voice actor and to prove that it's easy.
Hey, I'm Nathan Drake. If you're the adventurous type like me, then get in on the Subway Taste for Adventure for a chance to win epic trips and exclusive access to Uncharted 3. Get your code on 30-ounce drinks today. Subway, where winners eat. Ow.
Coming off the heels of Uncharted 2, Naughty Dog now had to one-up themselves with an even bigger and better third title, Uncharted 3. Now, when it came to the direction of the series, Naughty Dog had two wolves inside of them to listen to. The Uncharted 1 route, an emphasis in combat and expanded weapon types, maybe even improved stealth mechanics, or the Uncharted 2 route, leaning more into specific set pieces and iconic moments. Regardless if they fit cohesively into the story or not, they went with this one. Early in development, the writers for Uncharted 3 were told by Naughty Dog that this would be the final Uncharted game. So, what probably happened is that they had all these cool ideas for gameplay moments they wanted to fit in, but they only had one game to do it. So, as a result, we're whipping from location to location across the globe with characters being introduced, add nothing, and then leave. There's too many stories trying to be told at once, and even though the writers were eventually told this wouldn't be the final game, they never commit to a singular narrative they want to tell, making the final product just really convoluted and also feel half-baked. With all that being said, let's get started. Uncharted 3 opens with Nathan Drake beating the shit out of a room full of British people, so disregard everything I just said, it's now my favorite game. Drake is only thwarted by the first and only British man to wield a firearm. Also Sully. They killed Sully again. This sends us into a flashback where Drake and Sully meet for the first time, 20 years ago, in Colombia. Okay? This isn't some iconic duo we were all desperate to get the origin of. If you remember, Sully's absent in the majority of the last two games. I will say, 13-year-old Drake finally starts to resemble Tom Holland, so the producers likely used those mental gymnastics as the excuse to put Tom Spider-Man in the video game movie. Through all the walking simulators, we get one sequence with a chase scene across city rooftops, but the only difference here is now you sometimes press X when holding forward. Uncharted 3 has a lot of sequences like this, where you just hold forward and walk. No gameplay, no challenge. Just hold forward. And yeah, maybe back in 2011, those graphics would have blown my socks clean off my piggies. And you can disguise boring gameplay behind stunning visuals, but when those visuals don't look quite as stunning 11 years later, all you're left with is a cutscene that requires you to hold forwards. I feel like this is the authentic Uncharted movie viewing experience. Speaking of holding forwards, back to London! No, anywhere but London! So they're not dead, they faked it, duh. I saw your face, you were scared, right? That's right, I can see you through your screen. Fix your posture. Here we meet Cutter, a super important addition to the narrative that definitely doesn't break his leg during Act 1 and is never mentioned again. Anyways, off to a French jungle. What? What about a French jungle?
Leave it to you to find a friggin' jungle in the middle of France.
I'm sorry, the mansion's on fire now and you have to escape it? Don't think, just run! It looks cool, doesn't it? What do you mean you don't know what's going on? Yeah, this is a theme with Uncharted 3 you'll pick up on pretty fast, and that's that individually these levels are all cool. Putting them in context with a larger story, not only do they start becoming repetitive, but they don't feel super connected. Basically, Uncharted 3 doesn't know what story it wants to tell. I just don't get why we need Cutter and Chloe in this game at all. Like, they both dip after like 2 levels and don't really add anything to the story later characters couldn't do. There's a whole section in Lebanon where the game introduces this new vertical cover shooting mechanic that's actually a really good and interesting addition to the gameplay. And it's used like twice ever. But no, it's absolutely crucial to the experience that we watch Drake spend 45 seconds squeezing through this gap. Okay, so forget all the characters you spent the first half of the game with. We're not seeing them ever again. Elena's back now, and she calls into question Drake's motivation for all of this in the first place.
Why this obsession? I'm just worried.
I can take care of myself, all right?
I'm not talking about you.
What, Sully?
He would go to the ends of the earth for you, Nate. Just don't ask him to.
Drake's ego is getting in the way of his relationships. The game is setting up this dilemma where he needs to choose between the luster of adventure and the people he loves. I wonder how Naughty Dog develops this. Oh, they don't. And he gets everything at the end and learns nothing? Maybe trying to create a narrative around cool PlayStation 3 eye candy rather than character motivation is a bad idea. Maybe this will lead to a bunch of arcs set up and then never completed. Maybe it's bad writing. What? Maybe it's delivery. No, it's DiGiorno! In order to wheel us off to the next blockbuster scene, Naughty Dog's constantly resetting the character motivations, leaving them to pick and choose when Drake's actions have consequences. And it makes you feel as the player as though you just slogged through another bloated cutscene disguised as gameplay for nothing. This is demonstrated perfectly in the shipyard level, where you fight through all these guys and climb all this stuff in pursuit to save Sully, who's now been kidnapped. It's maybe my favorite part of the game, and it ends with Drake escaping a sinking ship and getting stranded at sea. He never finds Sully.
He's not here.
The next day, he fights his way to a plane, which, just like the boat, leads to a crashing sequence where Drake has to escape and is left stranded in the desert. These happen back to back. So what was the point of the first one? Listen, I get that you thought that it would make a cool gameplay moment, but at least act like it matters to the narrative. Now, the plane scene was something Naughty Dog was clearly very proud of, making it the box art, putting it in the release trailer. Hell, it's even in the movie. The plane crash scene is like the perfect encapsulation of the design philosophy for Uncharted 3. We've got innovative climbing mixed with cover shooting, and like I've said, combining those two brings out the best in Uncharted. But then pretty quickly, a cinematic takes over where you hold forward and do a QuickTime event. And the scene that's in all the trailers and the box art and all that stuff, a 10-minute walking simulator. 10 minutes of walking. I don't care that the developers put all of this time and effort into all these walking animations. It's boring. But hey, at least it looks cool. I'll give Naughty Dog this. The last third of the game, aka the desert portion, provides the longest stretch of a single cohesive narrative. And frankly, the whole game should have been like this. It's fun, there's lots of cool action, cool memorable gameplay moments, basically Uncharted 2 too. But then we get to the climax, aka where all the nonsensical narrative threads pretend like they fit together. And it goes something like this. All right, Uncharted 3, you've set up a lot of narrative threads in this game. How do you plan on bringing it all together? Ah, Sully's dead again. Psych! I tricked you. Again, you thought actions have consequences? Well, think again. But you said they do. Well, I guess I changed my mind. Also, the game is over now. Uncharted 3 needs to be the game where Drake really loses, making him reconsider his treasure hunting lifestyle altogether. This concept is alluded to a couple times, but they never commit because Uncharted 3 doesn't know what story it wants to tell, spending too much time on irrelevant eye candy and walking simulator so Naughty Dog can show off. So it ends with a totally happy ending, and Drake learns nothing. But at least Uncharted 4 pretends like he did.